Hey EDN 5040, it's Karen Granger. It's Sunday night, it's June the 17th. I wanted to check in and talk about some things related to the course. I also wanted to talk about chapters 9 and 10. It's two of my favorite chapters that look at classroom management and classroom discipline. It could probably be one chapter, but these authors decided to make it two. I wanted to talk about kind of what's going to happen this week and what's going to happen next week. So you should note some updates in Canvas, and I'm sorry for the reflection in my glasses, but if I take them off I can't see. So you should note some updates in Canvas. One related to grades. I've graded everything up to Module 3 that was due last week. If you have submitted an assignment that is not currently due, that has not been graded. I will start the letters to myself after the due date, which is June the 19th. And then next week, the Context for Learning and the signature assignment are both due on the 25th. So I will have to grade pretty quick to get those turned around and get final grades submitted. This week, you're going to note we talk about chapters 9 and 10. These are important chapters for our undergrad and our grad students because a lot of what we struggle with in the classroom is classroom management. Chapter 9 looks at classroom management, preparing for the first year, the organization of your classroom, selecting and teaching rules and procedures, and maintaining appropriate student behavior. Chapter 10 looks at misbehavior, cautions and guidelines, chronic misbehavior, and then bullying. And I'm sure all of you have a story to tell about classroom management, things that have worked really well, I hope. You probably also have some things that went south pretty quick and did not end up in a positive. I really struggled with classroom management as a beginning teacher. It took me a while to kind of get in my groove. A lot of that was related to my personality, and I think I just had to kind of let some things go. I really wanted to be in control of everything, and some things I had to be mindful of picking my battles. So I do encourage you to read chapters 9 and chapters 10. I think there's some really important information as it looks at working with students and misbehavior, as it talks about instructional strategies that you might use for misbehavior. One of the things it talks about is record keeping, policies, and procedures. For those of you teaching elementary school, whatever your policy is for sharpening pencils, using the restroom, washing hands, you start it on day 1. Let kids know the expectation. That really applies to bigs, as I call them. Bigs are middle school and high school, and littles are in elementary school. Have a plan for organization. As a former art teacher, organization was key in my classroom so that students could move independently and know where things were and not have to ask me too many questions. Think about how you want your rules to unfold if you're going to have more of a democratic classroom, if you want students to participate in the rulemaking, which is really positive, but think about how that might unfold. Have a policy or a procedure for management. Be consistent. If you say you're going to do A, B, C, and D every time, do A, B, C, and D every time. Kids are looking to see when you might change the rules. Involve parents, involve school resources. Think about social workers, guidance counselors, school psychologists. How can you get folks involved when we look at chronic misbehavior? So again, I encourage you to look at chapters 9 and 10. They're really important. I'm now going to jump to your assignments for this week. One is to complete the letter to myself. That was talked about last week. The assignment is posted in